Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sankhaya. Welcome to a topic of mastering the restless mind. As all you know, our mind sometimes cause a problem to us too, especially when it go down or when it go lower. And this topic I would emphasize that when we rely on our mind is going down, please pull it up or strengthen it. Before go to the details of a topic mastering the restless minds, in Vietnamese we can be understand as Điều phục Tâm Dao động. Điều phục Tâm Dao động. We would go to consider a word mind. So first, the word mind is derived from the Pali term citta. Citta is derived from the root citta, to think. The traditional interpretations of the term is that which is aware of an object, cinteti, is equal to vichanati. Actually, it is not that which thinks of an object as the term implies. If it could be said, it thinks, as one says in English, it rains, it would be more in consonance with the Buddha's teaching. From an ultimate standpoint, citta may be defined as the awareness of an object, since the Buddhism denies a subjective urgence like a soul. According to Buddhism, no distinction is made between mind and consciousness, terms which are used as equivalent for citta. And some scholars give definitions of citta is to function what is happening to the body and the mind. Means that actually we don't know what is happening, but the mind is. And we can understand regarding to the word citta or minds, so more like this. The words of minds we can explain, or we can understand that it is the Buddhist meanings of citta, meaning minds or consciousness. Citta comes from the Pali root citta, meaning to think, right? However, in Buddhism, citta is not a thinker or a permanent self that thinks. Rather, it is the awareness of an object, the knowledge of whatever appears. Buddhism rejects the ideas of an independent souls or urgings behind experience. Therefore, it is more accurate to say thinking occurs, then someone thinks. In Buddhist philosophy, mind, citta, and consciousness, vijnana, are often used interchangeably to describe awareness. The nature of citta is a process, not a person. It's arrives whenever there is contact with an object. It is impermanent and changes moment by moment. Key idea: mind is an event, not an entity. Next, no permanent thinker, anatta. When you look yourself, if you are realize the ultimate truth, you will see all the Dharma within are non-self or no self. Yeah. As the English, as the Pali term said that, sappe dhamma anatta. So, regarding to the mind, or regarding to the passage, or what I explained regarding to citta, it's a part to the doctrines of non-self, anatta. If you want to understand well the citta, you have to understand non-self. If you would like to see the non-self, you have to understand what is the mind itself. Instead of saying, I am thinking, Buddhism encourages understanding thinking is occurring. This removes the illusions of a permanent I behind thought. Awareness is primary. Citta is essentially knowing, experiencing, being aware of an object. Regarding to citta, it happens to experience all the existing thing. For example, seeing a flower, seeing consciousness arise, hearing a sound, hearing consciousness arise, remembering the past, mind consciousness arise. The emphasis is on the awareness, not on the honors of the awareness. About practical application, during meditation, instead of thinking, my mind is wandering, observe. A wandering thought had arisen. Instead of I am hungry, see, anxious is present in the mind. This develops mindfulness and weakens attachment to self. So, regarding to the methods of observing the mind, you do nothing, just sitting and observe your mind is enough. Relating to dependent origination, citta does not exist independently. It's arrived because of the condition, scenarios, objects, context, attention, previous karma. For example, when conditions cease, the moments of consciousness also cease. Thus, no condition, no citta. About philosophical significance. Citta distinguishes Buddhism from philosophies that believe in an external souls and unchanging selves, a permanent thingers. Instead, Buddhism teaches only conditioned mental events arising and ceasing according to cause and condition. Key lesson: citta is awareness, not a soul, according to Buddhism. Thinking happens, there is no permanent thinkers. Mind is conditioned process that arises and ceases moment by moment. Understanding cittas help realize anattas, non-selves, and reduce attachment. When you see non-self, means that you see the ultimate truth. So please keep practice. Mindfulness trainers to observe mental events objectively rather than identify with them. One sentence takeaway: citta is not the permanent mind or self, but the momentary awareness of an object arising and ceasing according to condition, illustrating the Buddha teachings of non-self, anatta. Now back to our main topic, or we can say that the next is can approve our topic, the mastering the restless mind. According to Dhammapada, verse number 33 and 34, the Buddha said, Pantanang japalang cittang durakang tuniwarayang Uchung karoti metavi Uso karowa te chanang Wari chowa tale kitto Okamo kata upato Paripantati itang cittang Mara Teyang Pahatave. Its meaning: the flickering, the fickle mind, difficult to guard, difficult to control. The wise person strengthens it as a plico, strengthen and arrow. Next, like a fish that is thrown from its wateries abode and thrown open land, even so does this mind plotters. Hence, should the dreams of the patient be sun. We can summarize it. From this two words in Dhammapada, I got a title for you, that is Mastering the Restless Mind for today. So we can summarize these two words like this. These two words teach that the mind is naturally restless, unstable, and difficult to control. Constantly moving from one object to another, like an arrow maker carefully strengthens a crooked arrow. A wise person patiently trains and disciplines the mind through mindfulness and wisdom. The Buddha further compared the uncontrolled mind to a piece pulled from water and thrown onto dry land, flapping wildly in distress. Likewise, the untrained mind is architected by craving, attachment, and distraction. Therefore, one should retrain the mind and avoid the influence of sensual desires, Mara. For only a well-trained mind leads to peace and liberation. Key lesson. The mind is naturally restless and difficult to control. Wisdom and mindfulness can train and strengthen the mind. An uncontrolled mind is disturbed by craving and temptations. Mastering the mind is the path to inner peace and freedom from suffering. One sentence theme. A wise person patiently trains their restless mind, overcoming craving and distractions to attain peace and liberation. Hereby, the Buddha also mentioned a story of Sakya who could not control his mind to make clear on these two words as following. On one occasion, on his return from his armed front, the Venerable Sakya noticed a pleasant and peaceful mango crow, which he thought was an ideal spot for meditation. He asked the Buddha permission to let him to go there. At first, the Buddha asked him to wait for some time, knowing that simply linking another place would not help him in his meditation. Sakya was in hurry to go, and so he repeated his request again and again, until finally the Buddha allowed him to go. Thus, Sakya set out for the mango crow, such as the fruits of a tree, and practiced meditation. He stays there the whole day, but his mind kept wandering and he made no progress. He returns in the evenings and reported to the Buddha how all the time he was assailed by thoughts associated with all sorts of mental developments and disturbance. The Buddha admonished him that as the mind is easily excitable and fickle, One should control one's mind in a proper manner, whatever one is. Reflecting mindfulness on the admonitions given by the Buddha, making you attain the first stage of sainthood. The stories provide us the lesson about who could not control his mind, named Sakya, as following. Number one, a peaceful place does not guarantee a peaceful mind. Sakya believed that a beautiful mango crow would have his meditation, but his mind remained restless. True peace comes from training the mind, not merely changing the environment. Please note that. Please remind yourself that all inner peace from our mind is not from the environment outside. Okay, we can say that it's from our internal environment. It's not from our external environment. Lesson. Inner peace depends on mental discipline, not external condition. Yeah, this can make our consciousness is clear. Number two, a restless mind is one greatest obstacle. Although Sakya had a suitable place for meditation, his mind wandered constantly and was overcome by defilement. Lesson: without controlling the mind, no real spiritual progress can be made. Number two, trust the guidance of the wise teachers. The Buddha advised Sakya to wait, knowing he was not yet ready. Sakya insisted on following his own preference and later realized the Buddha's wisdom. Lesson: humility and confidence in the guidance of wise teachers prevent unnecessary difficulties. Number four, cravings and preference disturb meditation. Sakya become attached to the ideas that the mango crow was the perfect place. This attachment itself becomes an obstacle. Lesson: let go of personal preference and practice wherever conditions are low. Number five, mindfulness must be practiced everywhere. This means that we can practice mindfulness everywhere we go, everywhere we stand, everywhere we sit, and everywhere we sleep. The Buddha taught that one should control the mind wherever one is, not only in special place. Clear? Number 6, fellows can become available teachers. Sakya honestly admitted his failures to the Buddha. By reflecting on the Buddha's advice, he eventually attained stream entry Sotapanna. A lesson we learn. Honest reflections on mistake lead to wisdom and spiritual growth. This you know. Please dare enough to learn, to think and to practice by yourself. And don't feel ashamed to tell the truth to others, especially to tell the truth to our teachers, to our masters. Because, you know, the best teachers in life is the mistake. Everyone in this world can learn from our own mistake. Please remember, no one is perfect. But we learn to be, we practice to be a perfect by learn from our mistake again and again until one day the best day will become ours. Main takeaways from this story. The greatest challenge in meditation is not finding the perfect place, but mastering the restless mind. Through mindfulness, humility, and the guidance of the Buddha, the mind can be trained and lead to liberation. You know, the best person, the perfect person, is the one who trained their mind and live this life with mindfulness and wisdom. You can observe, you know, a perfect one in Buddhism. It must be the one who learned the Dharma, get right understand on the Dharma, and practice the Dharma. And the last one is, the last step is live their life according to the Dharma. The Dharma here is the teachings of the Buddha. And all the Buddhist followers, we have the same teachers that is the Buddha, Dharma, and the Buddha discipline. In Pali term we call Dharma and Vinaya. The Dharma and Vinaya is our teachers. Just follow it by learning, by thinking, by practicing, and by attending. I hope that after you all listen to these topics, a topic of mastering the restless mind, you can overcome your own weak mind Okay, you can full up your wish mind to be more strengthened, and you got sleep well, deep relax, experience your own inner peace, and spend your life more happier and more prosperous. Thank you for your listening. Namo Buddhaya.